I know my steering wheel is in the way, but I can't lower it anymore. So we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it. 3 things that you need to know as a part-time YouTube creator. Number 1, you are not going to compete with full-time YouTube creators. That's not your job. In fact, your job isn't to compete with any YouTube creator. Your job is to make yourself better as a YouTube creator and go from where you were yesterday to where you want to be in the future. And that can be really tough because you're constantly trying to see how your content ranks against other people's content. But a better way of looking at it is viewing your analytics in a progressional step so that you can see from this point to that point, I got a little bit better. I got 1%, 2%, 3% better. How do you measure that progress? A lot of it comes down to just the repetitions, doing one rep after another rep after another rep. If you look at some of the best bodybuilders in the world, or maybe you've made your own physical transformation. Can't even say the word transformation. Maybe you've made your own physical transformation over the years. You knew that it took a lot of reps to get to that point. The skill that you've built as a creator took a lot of reps, and you can probably remember a number of frustrating moments where you were like, this sucks. But those moments is what made you a better creator in the long run. So you have to constantly just view that as your measuring stick. Now, things like subscribers and views and stuff, those can also be ways of measuring your progress, but not comparing yourself to another creator. You have no idea what kind of time commitment they have. You might not have any idea whether or not they have financial means to do this or do that. There's a whole different world out there, and trying to think of all the variables that will compare you to another creator is impossible and a waste of time. So the first thing you have to realize is I am competing against myself and only myself. The second thing you have to try to focus on is how can I repurpose my content? If I make one piece of content, what are all the different ways that I can repurpose that? My favorite method is making a long form YouTube video, finding snippets that you can snitch down into vertical format, taking the transcript and finding pieces that you create a blog post out of if you have a blog or a website. Or if you don't, you can take snippets of that and create a caption. Use something like ChatGPT or other AI softwares to help you generate captions and posts around a specific subject that you're making. And then you can create tweets from that. You can create Instagram posts from that. You can do a whole bunch of different stuff. But finding the ways to repurpose is one of the most useful skills I've learned as a part-time creator, because you don't have a team of people. You don't have the money to hire editors and other creators to do stuff for you. Or maybe you do, that would be awesome. But if you're doing it as a solopreneur sort of deal, then I highly recommend that you find as many ways as you can to repurpose your content. So understanding that you're not going to compete with full-time YouTubers, repurposing your content, and number 3 is not getting overwhelmed, which is probably the hardest thing to do because you want to constantly push the envelope. You want to constantly raise your content volume. You want to constantly make more and more content, but at the same time, you're handicapped, right? You might have a kid, you might have other dependents, you obviously have a full-time job, you've got other things that are pulling you in other directions, and so time is very limited. And so it can get frustrating when you have the idea for a piece of content and you want to record it, but you have to wait 4 or 5 days because that's when you'll actually have free time. Or maybe your house is really loud on the weekends, so the time that you're going to create is confined to when everyone's asleep or quiet, or maybe you can only edit at night when it's really late and you'd rather be sleeping. There's all these different things. Probably the most important thing that I've learned over the years is don't let your health, either physical or mental, suffer as a result of trying to create content, which just throws in another time suck. It's like, well, how do I take care of my health and then also use that time to create content to fuel my creative passions? It's difficult, and I'm not one to tell you that the route that I have taken has been the best. I've failed along a lot of the way. My mental health has suffered, my physical health has suffered, but I'm always trying to balance it. And I think that's all you can really ask from yourself. The attempt at trying to make it as balanced as possible, but never think that it's going to be perfect or there's this peak at which you're going to find the optimum balance between each one of them. That's just not going to work. A lot of times it's going to come down to being a little on the not so healthy end and then a little bit more on the healthy end. And again, just trying to balance that out the best you can. So that's my video for today. Thanks a ton for watching. If you're a fellow part-time creator, don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to see any other videos related to this, maybe there's other questions you have as a part-time creator, leave them in the comment section down below. And then if you like this video and you want to see more videos about video editing, being a part-time creator, everything that goes into it, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in a future video.